This is I've just greased up the I've just lubed the concrete mixer, the cement mixer, ready to mix that. Now the thing is, once you mix that, because it's almost like a dry mix, and what you need to do inside here is you need to kind of like shake it so that it levels properly. So it needs to vibrate. So I need to find some way of vibrating the refractory cement. So I have an idea. This is a Hitachi magic wand. It's a personal massage device to ease the tensions of the day. Now I reckon that, combined with the stick we use to stir the varnish, if I could somehow connect the two together, may make a way of vibrating the cement, the concrete, into I wish I hadn't started making this video now. Right, so it's not been used, by the way. So this is, I'm going to wrap it all up and try and... Anyway, we'll see how that goes. Yes. Okay. We now have... Can't do this. We now have a and that is to, I can't do this anymore. I'll come back when the concrete's ready. Well, that's been fun. I knew there wasn't going to be enough because I'd previously asked another manufacturer about how much I'd need to do a complete beer keg, and they said about 1.5 pots or bags of refractory cement, a 25 kilo bag. So I reckon probably somewhere between 35 and 45, including the lid and base. Right, so now I mean, I can always finish it off with sand and plaster of Paris because the real heat is further down below. But what we need to do now is deploy this, and the reason for that is we need essentially to make sure that we've got all underneath there. So what we do is, I can't do this one-handed. This isn't going to work one-handed. Anyway, you get the idea of stomping this down. It is gradually going down, but it's not really working very well on camera. That's the Hitachi magic wand, personal massage accessory. So now I need to tamp all that down. As you see, it does go, it is going, but it just takes a while. So I'm now going to stop filming because I need both hands. Okay, not a bad job of tamping all that down. Yes, so still a couple of inches on the top. I'm going to fill that with sand and plaster of Paris because it isn't going to take the majority of the heat. The majority of the heat is further down below. And I know someone's going to ask what these are for in here, and they are screws, 2-inch screws. And what happens is the same as with the lid. I put bolts in here and underneath coming up, and that's because the inside of a beer barrel is smooth. And if I didn't do that, this would just plop, drop out. So those, because this moulds itself around these, and similarly on here, on the inside, that moulds itself around these, it stops it moving and falling out because the inside is nice and smooth. Yes, it has got ribs, I can sense a theme. Yes, it's got ribs, but that's still, you know, it just helps keep it all snug and tight. So we have it. I shall now finish that off with sand and plaster and Paris mix, and then in a day or two it will be ready for taking the bucket out, taking the tube out, and then I need to find a 100-watt light bulb, an old-fashioned type, because what you do is put that in there and leave it in there for a week, and the heat just helps to cure it all and dry it all. Well, that's what I did last time. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to do that this time. There might be other ways of doing it. I don't know. Yeah, but that's usually what I used to do, was just put a 100-watt light bulb in there and leave it for a week or so. So there we go. That's the latest on the Foundry. And today, thank you to Mr. Weiss and our anvil. I won't have to say too much, but they came in right handy. And also Gwen over in well, now in San Francisco, formerly of the Valley, down in oops, not sure what's happening here. Okay, yeah, the Valley in Los Angeles. People know what the Valley is in Los Angeles, who sent me this over. Original, retro, and because it's American, it's 110 volt, so I have to get an adapter to run it from the English 220/240, whatever. But yes, this did its job today. So next time I do a lecture or a presentation or whatever, especially for the WI, I should tell them that this was used to level concrete. The little vibrator was used to level concrete. Well, cement, refractory cement. Right, so that's it. I'll come back after I've done the plaster of Paris mix. Okay, I think that's pretty much done for today now. We've got the final top layer of sand and plaster of Paris, and then the top half an inch is very, very watery, and the idea of that was an accident. But there we go. So give it a week, take the bucket out, chuck a 100-watt bulb in there, and leave that for another week, and then we have a furnace. Yippee!